Hello, my good friends. How are you today? May God bless you all. I will not introduce anything. You guys watch the video and feel it, then let's evaluate together. The ballroom at the Grand Hyatt in downtown Atlanta shimmered like a scene from a movie. Crystal chandeliers threw golden light across the crowd, bouncing off sequined dresses and polished cufflinks. The air smelled of expensive perfume, grilled shrimp appetizers, and ambition. Jazz floated from a live band in the corner, saxophone notes weaving through the chatter of Brightwave Technology's annual gala. Everyone was here to impress, network, or at least pretend they belonged. And then there was Maya Jackson, standing by a high-top table, holding a glass of orange juice like it was a shield. Maya didn't do corporate galas. They felt like a game she hadn't signed up for. Too many fake smiles, too much small talk about golf and stock prices. But tonight, she'd made an exception. Her second month at Brightwave, a tech company teetering on the edge of greatness or collapse, demanded she show face. Plus, the new CEO was making his debut, and curiosity had gotten the better of her. She adjusted the neckline of her wine-red dress, a curve-hugging number that made her feel like she could conquer the world, or at least this room. Her natural curls spilled over one shoulder, catching the light as she scanned the crowd. "Act like you own the place," she muttered to herself, sipping her juice. "Fake it till you make it, girl." That's when she saw him. A man in a black tuxedo moving through the crowd with the kind of ease that screamed confidence. Tall, broad-shouldered, with brown hair just messy enough to look intentional. He paused near a server holding a tray of drinks, and Maya's brain made a snap judgment. Waiter. Had to be. No one that good-looking worked a desk job in this company. She raised her glass slightly, catching his eye, and called out, her voice playful but commanding. "Hey, handsome. Grab me a glass of champagne, will ya? And make it quick. I'm not here to wait all night." The man froze mid-step. He turned slowly, like he was processing a foreign language. His eyes, green, sharp, and a little amused, locked onto hers. For a second, Maya thought she'd miscalculated. But then he tilted his head, a half-smile tugging at his lips. "Champagne, huh?" His voice was low, with a dry edge. "You sure you don't want me to throw in a side of caviar, too?" Maya laughed, loud enough that a few heads turned. Okay, this guy had game. She leaned forward, resting one elbow on the table, her dress catching the light. "Only if it's the good stuff. But seriously, Chop Chop, I might tip you with a dance if you're fast." He raised an eyebrow, clearly entertained but not budging. "A dance, huh? That's a bold offer for a glass of bubbly." "Bold's my middle name," she shot back, grinning. "What's yours?" He didn't answer. Instead, he gave her a long look, like he was trying to decide if she was joking or just that confident, then nodded once. "All right, princess. One champagne coming up." He turned and headed toward the bar, leaving Maya smirking to herself. Efficient and cute. Not a bad combo. She didn't know it yet, but she'd just made the biggest mistake of her night. Maybe her life. Maya Jackson wasn't your average corporate newbie. At 30, she'd already built a fortune most people couldn't dream of, a secret empire of investments, real estate, and stock portfolios, all hidden behind a maze of shell companies. To the world, she was just a marketing assistant at Brightwave, scraping by on a modest salary in a one-bedroom apartment. But in reality, she was a millionaire, maybe a billionaire if the markets kept smiling. She'd joined Brightwave not for the paycheck, but to scope it out. Her investment firm was eyeing the company as a potential acquisition, and Maya wanted to see it from the inside, how it ticked, who called the shots, whether it was worth her money. She kept her wealth under wraps for one reason. Trust. Too many people, friends, lovers, even family, had changed when they smelled money. So she played the part. Wore H&M dresses mixed with vintage finds, drove a beat-up Honda, and laughed off questions about her side hustles. It wasn't easy, especially as a black woman in spaces like this, where every glance felt like a test. Was she too loud? Too bold? Too much? But Maya had learned to navigate it all with a smile and a spine of steel. Tonight, though, she was off her game. The heels pinching her toes didn't help, and neither did the whispers from co-workers who didn't expect her to last past probation. She sipped her juice, scanning the room again. Where was that waiter? He'd promised her champagne, and she was ready to hold him to it. A few minutes later, he reappeared, weaving through the crowd with a flute of champagne in hand. His tux fit like it was made for him, and Maya couldn't help but notice the way he moved, smooth, deliberate, like he owned the floor. He stopped in front of her, holding out the glass with a mock bow. "Your champagne, milady," he said, his voice dripping with sarcasm. Chilled, as requested, Maya took the glass, her fingers brushing his for a split second. A spark shot through her, but she ignored it. "Well, damn, you're efficient. Stylish, too." She tilted her head, sizing him up. "If you ever get tired of serving drinks, hit me up. I know a club downtown that'd hire you in a heartbeat." He blinked, then let out a low chuckle, the kind that made her stomach flip. "Good to know, but I'm not much for trays. I'm more curious." "Curious?" She raised an eyebrow, taking a sip. The champagne was crisp, perfect. "About what?" "My drink order." "About you." He leaned in just enough to make her pulse jump. "You're the first person tonight who's given me an order. Gotta say, it's refreshing." Maya grinned, undeterred. "Then you need more orders, my friend. Stick around, and I'll keep you busy." She winked, feeling bolder than she had all night. "Start with smiling more. You've got the face for it." He laughed again, softer this time, his eyes crinkling at the corners. "Noted. Enjoy your evening." He paused, waiting. "Maya," she supplied, lifting her glass. "And you are?" He opened his mouth, but before he could answer, the lights dimmed. The band stopped, and a voice boomed over the speakers. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the new CEO of Brightwave Technologies, Ethan Carter." The crowd erupted in applause. Maya turned toward the stage, expecting some gray-haired exec in a stuffy suit. Instead, her jaw dropped. The man walking up to the podium, adjusting his tie with a calm smile, was him. Her waiter, Ethan freaking Carter. Her glass froze midair. The room spun for a second, and she choked on a laugh that came out more like a cough. "Oh, hell no," she whispered, gripping the table. "I just told the CEO to fetch my drink. Maya, you idiot." Ethan took the mic, his voice smooth as whiskey. "Thank you all for being here. Tonight's about new beginnings, fresh ideas, and maybe a few surprises." His eyes scanned the crowd, landing on her. That same half-smile curved his lips, like he knew exactly what she was thinking. Maya forced herself to sip her champagne, praying her face didn't betray the chaos in her head. She barely heard his speech, something about innovation, teamwork, and disrupting the status quo. All she could think was, "You called the boss a waiter. You told him to smile more. You offered him a job at a club." Her career flashed before her eyes, and it wasn't pretty. When the applause died down, Ethan stepped off the stage, shaking hands with execs and flashing that polished smile. Maya considered bolting for the exit, but her heels and her pride kept her rooted. She was Maya Jackson, damn it. She didn't run from mistakes. She owned them. "Need a refill already?" His voice cut through her thoughts. Ethan stood in front of her, hands in his pockets, looking way too amused. Maya straightened, channeling every ounce of confidence she had left. "Nah, I'm good, but you might want to work on your serving skills, Mr. Carter." She emphasized his name, smirking. "Took you long enough to get that champagne." He laughed. A real laugh, not the polite kind CEOs used. "And here I thought I was quick. So Maya, you always boss strangers around, or am I special? Depends. She tilted her head, meeting his gaze. You always let random women think you're the help, or am I special? Touché. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. Let's just say you caught me off guard. Doesn't happen often. She felt a flush creep up her neck, but kept her cool. Get used to it, boss. I'm full of surprises. His eyes held hers, a spark of something, interest, challenge, maybe more, flickering in them. I'm counting on it. Before she could fire back, a suit and a bow tie pulled him away for a photo op. Ethan gave her one last look, like he was filing her away for later. Maya exhaled, her heart racing. She'd screwed up, sure, but she'd also left an impression. Whether it was good or bad, she'd find out soon enough. As the gala buzzed on, Maya leaned against the table, replaying the night in her head. She'd come here to blend in, to keep her cover as the nobody marketer scoping out Brightwave. Instead, she'd put herself square in the CEO's sights. And something told her Ethan Carter wasn't the type to let a moment like that slide. What do you think of Maya's bold move? Would you have played it cool like her? Or run for the hills after calling the CEO a waiter? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to catch what happens next in this wild ride. Turn on notifications so you never miss a twist. Trust me, you're going to want to see where this goes. Monday mornings at Brightwave Technologies hit like a freight train. The open plan office in Atlanta's Midtown buzzed with the clatter of keyboards, the hiss of the espresso machine, and the low hum of ambition. Sunlight poured through floor-to-ceiling windows, glinting off glass desks and exposing every speck of dust, or doubt, lingering in the air. Maya Jackson slid into her cubicle, her tote bag stuffed with a protein bar, a battered notebook, and a secret worth millions. She'd survived the gala, but now came the real test, proving she belonged here without blowing her cover. Her desk was a study in organized chaos, sticky notes with scribbled ideas, a half-dead succulent she kept forgetting to water, and a framed photo of her mom, Grace, smiling in a nurse's uniform. Maya fired up her laptop, the screen casting a blue glow on her face. She'd spent the weekend replaying that champagne fiasco with Ethan Carter, the CEO she'd mistaken for a waiter. His smirk, his green eyes, that dry laugh, they'd stuck with her like a song she couldn't shake. But this was work, not a rom-com. Time to lock it down. Yo, Maya, you alive? Malik Thompson leaned over the cubicle divider, his dreads pulled back and a grin splitting his face. He was the team's graphic designer, a fellow black co-worker who'd become her unofficial guide to Brightwave's politics. Barely, she said, flashing a smile. Blame the coffee. This machine's brewing sadness. Malik snorted. Girl, you're preaching. So spill. What went down at the gala? Heard you were out here stealing hearts in that red dress? Maya rolled her eyes, but her cheeks warmed. Just trying not to trip in my heels. You hear anything weird? She kept her tone casual, fishing for gossip about her run-in with Ethan. Nah, just the usual. Lauren's mad her pitch got ignored. Execs are kissing up to the new boss. He lowered his voice, smirking. But you? Whole floor's whispering about you. New girl, big vibes. Keep slaying, but watch your back. She nodded, filing that away. Lauren Mitchell, the communications director, had been all smiles at the gala, but Maya caught the side-eye. Competition was thick around here, and as a black woman, she knew the rules. Work twice as hard, smile twice as sweet, and never let them see you sweat. Good thing she was used to winning. Her email pinged, a calendar invite from Ethan himself. Urgent, marketing strategy meeting, 10 a.m. Her stomach flipped. Was this about her ideas, or her big mouth? She smoothed her blazer, a tailored navy number that hugged her curves, and grabbed her notebook. Game face on. The conference room smelled like dry erase markers and stale ambition. A dozen suits crowded around a sleek table, laptops open, egos on display. Maya slipped in, choosing a seat near the back. Ethan stood at the head, his white dress shirt rolled to the elbows, a PowerPoint projected behind him. He looked every bit the CEO now, no trace of the guy who'd humored her champagne order. His eyes flicked to her as she sat, a ghost of a smile crossing his face. Maya's pulse kicked up, but she kept her expression neutral. "Thanks for coming on short notice," Ethan said, his voice steady. "We're bleeding market share to competitors. Our last campaign tanked, and we need a new direction. Like yesterday. Ideas?" The room went quiet. Lauren leaned forward, her blonde bob perfect, her smile sharper than a tack. "I've got a plan. Target high-net-worth millennials, focus on luxury branding, influencers, yacht parties, the works." Ethan nodded, but his face stayed blank. "Noted. Anyone else?" Silence stretched. Maya's fingers tightened around her pen. She'd spent weeks drafting a pitch, but pitching to the CEO who knew she'd called him a waiter? Risky. Still, she wasn't here to play small. She cleared her throat. "I've got something," she said, standing. Every head turned, and she felt the weight of their stares, curious, skeptical, maybe a little hostile. "Our audience isn't just rich kids. We're missing the real players. Gen Z, communities of color, people who drive trends, not follow them. I'm talking a campaign rooted in culture. Hip-hop collabs, TikTok challenges, pop-up events in places like West End or Little 5 Points. Show we're not just another tech giant selling gadgets. Show we get it." The room froze. Malik shot her a subtle thumbs up from across the table. Lauren's smile tightened, like she'd bitten a lemon. Ethan leaned back, crossing his arms, his gaze locked on Maya. "Keep going," he said, his tone unreadable. She didn't flinch. "Data backs it up. 65% of Gen Z trusts brands that reflect their values. Black and Latino consumers drive over $1 trillion in spending power. We partner with local artists, maybe someone like Lil Baby or Janelle Monáe, and we don't just advertise, we create, give people a reason to care." For a moment, no one spoke. Then Malik clapped, breaking the spell. Others joined, a slow ripple of applause. Lauren's jaw twitched, but she stayed silent. Ethan's eyes didn't leave Maya, and for a second she swore she saw pride in them. "Damn, Maya," he said, a grin breaking through. "You don't mess around, do you?" She smirked, adrenaline buzzing. "Not when it's my game, boss." The room laughed, tension easing. Ethan nodded. "All right, Jackson, you're leading this one. Meet with me later to flesh it out." Maya sat, her heart pounding. Leading a campaign? Huge. But that look from Ethan, half respect, half something else, felt bigger. She'd just put herself on the map, and there was no going back. After the meeting, the office hummed with new energy. Co-workers shot Maya nods or quick, nice jobs as they passed her desk. Malik slid over, whispering, "You just dropped a bomb in there. Lauren's probably crying in her latte." "Let her," Maya said, laughing. "I'm just getting started." Her phone buzzed. A text from Tiana Brooks, her best friend and a fashion journalist with zero filter. "Heard you slayed at work. Gala T2, spill it girl, red dress and a CEO." Maya grinned, typing back, "Long story. Call you tonight." Tiana was her ride or die, always pushing her to own her power. But right now, Maya had a bigger problem. Ethan wanted to meet. Alone. At 4 p.m., she knocked on his office door, a glass-walled corner suite with a view of Atlanta's skyline. Ethan looked up from his desk, papers scattered like a war zone. "Come in," he said, waving her to a chair, "and close the door." She did, her heels clicking on the hardwood. The air felt charged. like a storm was brewing. She sat, crossing her legs, her pencil skirt riding up just enough to catch his eye before he looked away, clearing his throat. "Your pitch was fire," he started, leaning back. "But it's a big swing. You sure you can deliver?" Maya tilted her head, a playful edge to her voice. "You doubting me already, Carter? Thought you were all about surprises?" He chuckled, rubbing his jaw. "Oh, I'm learning. Speaking of surprises." He leaned forward, elbows on the desk, his eyes glinting. "You really thought I was a waiter?" She groaned, but couldn't help laughing. "In my defense, you were near a tray, and you looked too good to be stuck in a C-suite." "Too good, huh?" His grin was dangerous now, and Maya's stomach did a flip. "Careful, Jackson. I might start thinking you're flirting." "Who, me?" She batted her eyes, mock innocent, then dropped the act. "Nah, I'm just here to make you look good." "So, about that campaign." They dove into details, budgets, timelines, artist contacts, but the whole time there was a current running between them. Maya gestured at her notebook, her silk blouse shifting slightly, the top button undone just enough to make Ethan glance, then look away fast. She caught it and smirked. "You're staring, Carter," she teased, leaning closer to point at a chart. "My eyes are up here." He coughed, a flush creeping up his neck. "Trust me, I'm trying to focus on the numbers, but you're making it real hard." She laughed, loud and unfiltered, and for a moment they weren't CEO and employee, just two people vibing. But as she stood to leave, Ethan's voice stopped her. "Maya," he said, softer now. "That pitch? It wasn't just good. It was fearless. Don't let anyone here dim that." She paused, caught off guard by his sincerity. "Thanks," she said, meeting his eyes. "But I don't plan on dimming for anybody." He nodded, like he had expected nothing less. "Good. See you tomorrow." She walked out, her heart racing. Fearless? Maybe. But something about Ethan Carter made her feel like she was stepping into dangerous territory, and she kinda liked it. Back at her desk, Maya's phone lit up with another text from Tiana. "Meeting with the hot CEO? You better not be holding out on me." Maya shook her head, smiling, but a nagging thought crept in. The office was already buzzing about her pitch, and not all of it was praise. She overheard two co-workers by the coffee machine. "Her idea's bold, but is she for real? Or just cozying up to Carter?" Her smile faded. She'd killed it today, no question. But whispers like that? They were trouble waiting to happen. Maya Jackson didn't back down from a fight, but she wondered, how long could she keep shining before someone tried to snuff her out? And Ethan? Was he impressed by her work, or was there something else pulling them closer? She pushed the thought away, grabbing her notebook. Work now, feelings later. But deep down, she knew. Whatever was brewing between her and the boss wasn't going away anytime soon. The Brightwave office felt different by Wednesday, like the air had thickened with something sour. Maya Jackson sensed it the moment she stepped off the elevator. The usual hum of keyboards and banter was there, but now it came with side glances and hushed voices that stopped when she walked by. She'd been the star of Monday's meeting, her hip-hop campaign greenlit by Ethan Carter himself, but that glow was fading fast. Atlanta's skyline sparkled through the glass walls, all sleek skyscrapers and promise. But inside, it was a jungle, and Maya felt like prey. She dropped her tote bag at her desk, the photo of her mom, Grace, catching her eye. Grace's smile was a reminder. Keep your head up, baby. Always. Maya straightened her blazer, a deep emerald that popped against her skin, and opened her laptop. Emails piled up, project updates, meeting requests, and one cryptic note from a coworker. Heard about the campaign. Big move. Be careful. No signature. Her stomach twisted, but she shook it off, Focus. She had work to do. Malik Thompson slid into her cubicle, his usual grin dimmed. "Yo, Maya, you good?" he asked, keeping his voice low. She raised an eyebrow, catching the edge in his tone. "Why wouldn't I be? What's the tea?" He hesitated, glancing around. "Folks are talking. About you and Carter." Her heart skipped. "Talking how?" Malik leaned closer, his dreads brushing his shoulder. "Some BS about you cozying up to the boss to get your pitch through. Lauren's out here stirring the pot, dropping hints you're, working him." Maya's jaw tightened. Lauren Mitchell, the comms director with a smile like a switchblade, had been too quiet since the meeting. Now it made sense. "Let me guess," Maya said, her voice sharp. "They think I batted my lashes and Ethan just handed me the keys?" "Pretty much," Malik sighed. "It's not everyone, but it's loud enough. You know how it goes. New black girl makes waves and suddenly she's got to be scheming." She nodded, bitterness creeping in. She did know. She'd felt those eyes before. In college, at her first job, hell, even at the grocery store. The ones that said she didn't belong, that her success couldn't just be hers, but hearing it tied to Ethan stung deeper. Their banter, those stolen glances in his office, was that what people saw? A game? "Thanks for the heads up," she said, forcing a smile. "I got this." Malik bumped her fist. "I know you do. Just watch Lauren. She's got claws." Maya turned back to her screen, but her focus was shot. She wasn't just fighting for a campaign now. She was fighting to be seen. By noon, the whispers weren't whispers anymore. Maya caught fragments as she grabbed coffee from the break room. Two guys from sales, oblivious to her standing behind them. "No way she came up with that pitch herself. Carter's got a soft spot, you know." A woman from HR lowering her voice. "Bold move, but is she for real? I mean, come on." Maya poured her coffee, her hand steady despite the fire in her chest. She wanted to spin around, call them out, but she didn't. Not yet. Instead, she headed to a team huddle for the campaign. Lauren was there, all polished nails and fake warmth, leading the discussion like she hadn't spent the morning poisoning the well. "Maya, love the energy of your idea," Lauren said, her smile tight. "But it's a stretch, no? Hip-hop, TikTok, might be niche." Niche. Maya kept her tone light, but her eyes locked on Lauren's. "Last I checked, Gen Z's half the market, and black culture sets the trends. Or did you miss Beyoncé's last drop?" A few teammates chuckled, easing the tension. Lauren's smile didn't budge, but her eyes flashed. "Just saying, we need broad appeal. Don't want to alienate anyone." "Funny," Maya said, leaning back. "I thought inclusion was the whole point." The room went quiet. Malik coughed, hiding a grin. Lauren changed the subject, but Maya felt the shift. She'd drawn a line and Lauren knew it. Still, the victory felt hollow. Every nod from her team came with a question mark now, like they were wondering what she'd done to earn her spot. After the huddle, Maya needed air. She slipped out to the office balcony, the Atlanta heat wrapping around her like a hug. Her phone buzzed. Tiana, her best friend, with a voice memo. "Girl, Malik told me the office is wild and you okay? Call me, or I'm pulling up with tacos and a megaphone." Maya laughed, the sound loosening the knot in her chest. She hit record. "I'm good, T. Just navigating the snake pit. Tacos sound fire, though. Save me some." She pocketed her phone, staring at the city below. She'd faced worse than office gossip, growing up in a rough corner of Decatur, scraping by with her mom, building her fortune in secret. But this felt personal. That evening, Maya stayed late, tweaking campaign visuals. The office was a ghost town, just the hum of AC and her playlist. Outcast, because nothing said Atlanta like Big Boy's bass. She was deep in Photoshop when a shadow fell over her desk. She looked up and there was Ethan. Tie loose, sleeves rolled up, looking like he'd fought a war and barely won. "Burning the midnight oil?" he asked, leaning against her cubicle. She smirked, pausing her music. "Someone's got to make you look good, Carter. No champagne tonight?" He chuckled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Nah, I'm off duty. Saw your light on. Thought I'd check in." "Check in, huh?" She tilted her head, studying him. "Or you just miss me?" His grin was quick, but he dodged the bait. "Your campaign's got people talking. Good stuff." "Yeah?" Her voice cooled. "What else they saying?" Ethan frowned, catching her shift. "What's that mean?" She stood, crossing her arms. The office was empty, but she still felt exposed. "You tell me. Word around here is I'm only leading this because I've got you wrapped around my finger. That true?" His eyes widened, then darkened. "Maya, you serious? I greenlit your pitch because it was the best in the room. End of story." "End of story for you, maybe." She stepped closer, her voice low but sharp. "You know what it's like to walk in here, knowing half the room thinks I don't belong? That I'm just some girl playing you?" Ethan's jaw tightened. He ran a hand through his hair, looking caught. "I didn't start those rumors, and I sure as hell don't believe them." "Then why's it so loud?" she pressed. "You're the boss, Ethan. You hear this stuff. You gonna let it slide?" He exhaled, stepping closer. Too close. She could smell his cologne, woodsy, clean, and it threw her for a second. "I'm handling it," he said, his voice firm. "But I need you to trust me. You're not here because of me. You're here because you're you." She wanted to believe him. Those green eyes, steady and searching, made it hard not to. But trust was a luxury she couldn't afford, not when the stakes were this high. She stepped back, breaking the moment. "Trust's earned, Carter. You know that." He nodded, like he'd expected the pushback. "Fair enough. Just don't let them get to you, okay?" "Too late," she said, half smiling to hide the sting. "But I'm not going anywhere." He lingered, like he wanted to say more, then turned to leave. "Good night, Maya." "Night, boss," she called, her voice softer than she meant. Alone again, Maya sank into her chair, the fight draining out of her. She pulled out her phone and called her mom. Grace picked up on the second ring, her voice warm like a quilt. "Hey, baby. What's wrong?" Maya laughed, shaky. "How'd you know?" "Mama's intuition. Spill it." She did. Everything. The rumors, Lauren. The way Ethan's words didn't quite fill the hole in her chest. Grace listened, then said, "Maya, you're a queen. Always have been. They're gonna try to dim your light, but you don't let them. You hear me?" "I hear you," Maya whispered, blinking back tears. "Thanks, Mama. Anytime, baby. Now go get some rest. You've got a world to conquer." Maya hung up, feeling stronger but still raw. She wasn't just fighting for a job. She was fighting for herself. And yeah, maybe Ethan saw her, but that didn't mean the rest of Brightwave did. Later that night, needing a break, Maya ended up at the Painted Pin, a bar and bowling alley in Buckhead. The neon lights and thump of hip-hop were a balm, pulling her out of her head. She ordered a martini and found a spot by the bar. Her black dress, short, sleek, a little daring, catching eyes as she moved. She was swaying to the beat when a familiar figure appeared beside her. "Didn't expect to see you here, Carter," she said, smirking as Ethan slid onto the stool next to her. He'd traded his suit for jeans and a dark Henley, looking less CEO and more trouble. "Thought CEOs only drank whiskey in penthouses," he teased, echoing her earlier jab. "What's your excuse?" Needed to shake off the day. She sipped her drink, her eyes challenging. "You stalking me now?" He laughed, ordering a bourbon. Nah, just luck. Or fate, if you're into that. Fate? She snorted. Sounds like a line. Maybe. He leaned closer, his voice dropping. But you're out here dancing like you own the place, and I'm not complaining. Her pulse jumped. The music shifted to a slower beat, and before she could think, she grabbed his hand. Come on, boss. Let's see if you can keep up. On the dance floor, the crowd pulsed around them. Maya moved with ease, hips swaying, her dress catching the light. Ethan tried to match her, his steps clunky but earnest. She laughed, pulling him closer. You're hopeless, Carter. Give me a break, he said, grinning. I'm trying. Their bodies brushed, his hand grazing her waist. For a moment, the rumors, the office, the world faded. Just them, the music, and a heat she couldn't ignore. His eyes locked on hers, and she felt the pull, dangerous, electric. But then, reality crashed back. This doesn't fix it, she said, stepping back, breathless. The rumors, the looks, I'm still out here fighting. His face fell, but he nodded. I know, I'm sorry. She shook her head, already heading for the door. Not your fault, but it's mine to handle. Outside, the Atlanta night was warm, alive with car horns and laughter. Maya walked away, her heels clicking, her heart heavy. She'd faced down worse than gossip, but this time it wasn't just her reputation on the line. It was her truth. And no dance, no matter how good, could change that. The Atlanta skyline glittered like a promise Maya Jackson wasn't sure she could keep. From the balcony of Brightwave's office, the city sprawled below. Peachtree Street pulsing with headlights, the Ferris wheel downtown spinning slow and steady. It was Friday, a week since the rumors about her and Ethan Carter had turned the office into a minefield. Maya leaned against the railing, her silk scarf fluttering in the breeze, her mind a tangle of frustration and resolve. She'd spent days dodging whispers, proving her campaign wasn't a fluke, but the weight of it all was starting to crack her cool. Inside, the office was quiet, most folks already gone for the weekend. Maya had stayed to finalize a pitch deck, but really, she was avoiding the world. Her phone buzzed in her pocket, a text from Tiana Brooks, her best friend, who never let her sulk for long. You still at work? Girl, get your ass to happy hour. I'm at Stats, wings on me. Maya smiled, typing back. Tempting, but I'm deep in it. Rain check? Tiana's reply was instant. Fine, but you owe me a story. And a martini. Maya pocketed her phone, her gaze drifting to the photo on her desk. Her mom, Grace, laughing at a cookout years ago. Grace had called last night, sensing Maya's stress through the phone. You're carrying too much, baby, she'd said. Let some of it go. Easier said than done. Maya wasn't just carrying a job or a campaign. She was carrying a secret. A fortune built in the shadows. Millions tucked away in investments and real estate. All hidden to keep her life real. But real was starting to feel like a lie. She turned back to the city, her thoughts interrupted by a new plan taking root. Brightwave was a battleground, but there was somewhere else she could make a difference. Her old neighborhood in Decatur, a community center for kids, a place for art, music, dreams. She'd been quietly funding it for months, funneling money through a foundation under a fake name. Maybe it was time to stop hiding there too. Saturday morning, Maya traded her blazer for jeans and a t-shirt, her hair pulled into a high bun. The Decatur Arts Hub was a work in progress, peeling paint, mismatched chairs, but alive with laughter. Kids from the neighborhood spilled across the yard, some painting murals, others practicing dance moves to a Bluetooth speaker blasting Megan Thee Stallion. Maya knelt beside a girl named Kira, maybe 10, who was sketching a superhero with braids like hers. That's dope, Kira, Maya said, grinning. She got a name yet? Kira beamed. Captain Spark. She saves people with her art. Love it. You're gonna run this place one day, you know that? Kira giggled, and Maya's heart swelled. This was why she kept going. Not for Brightwave's glass walls or Ethan's green eyes, but for kids who deserved a shot. She'd poured $500,000 into the hub already, and nobody here knew it was her. To them, she was just Miss Maya, the volunteer who brought snacks and bad dance moves. Her phone buzzed, a reminder for a charity gala that night, one her foundation was sponsoring anonymously. She'd planned to skip it, but something tugged at her. Maybe it was time to show up, even if just to see how the other half lived. She ruffled Kira's hair and headed home to change, already dreading the heels she'd have to wear. The gala was at the Fox Theater, all red velvet and gold trim, the kind of place that screamed old money. Maya walked in wearing a midnight blue gown, sleeveless and flowing, with a slit that showed just enough leg to turn heads. Her curls were loose, framing her face, and she felt like a queen until she saw Ethan Carter across the room, chatting with a group of suits. Her stomach flipped. Of course he'd be here. Brightwave was a tech darling, and CEOs didn't miss events like this. She grabbed a flute of Prosecco from a passing tray, keeping her distance. The MC took the stage, thanking sponsors, and Maya froze when she heard the Horizon Fund mentioned, her foundation. The MC gushed about their mystery donor, and Maya's pulse raced. She'd been careful, so careful, but eyes were on her now, like the room could smell her secret. Ethan's gaze found her, curious, like he'd caught a glitch in the Matrix. She turned away, slipping into a conversation with a local artist, but her skin prickled. By the time the speeches ended, she was ready to bolt, until a hand touched her arm. "Fancy seeing you here," Ethan said, his voice low, his tuxedo sharp as ever. "Didn't peg you for the gala circuit." She forced a smile, her Prosecco suddenly too warm. "What, I can't clean up nice? Needed a break from the office drama?" He chuckled, but his eyes were searching. "You know the Horizon Fund folks? They mentioned a big donor, someone local. Sounded familiar." Her heart stopped, but she played it cool, sipping her drink. "You fishing, Carter? I'm just here for the free booze." He leaned closer, his cologne hitting her like a wave, cedar and something darker. "I'm always fishing with you, Maya. You're a damn puzzle." She laughed, deflecting, but the air between them crackled. Before she could fire back, a board member interrupted, pulling Ethan away. Maya exhaled, her mind racing. He was too close to the truth, and she wasn't ready for that. Monday morning, Ethan called her into his office. The glass walls felt like a cage as she sat across from him, his desk a mess of reports and coffee cups. He didn't waste time. "I did some digging," he said, his voice calm but edged. "Horizon Fund. Big player, quiet moves. And your name came up, not as a volunteer, Maya, as someone with pull. Care to explain?" Her throat tightened. She'd underestimated him. "What's there to explain?" she said, keeping her tone even. "I've got connections. Doesn't mean I'm hiding a cape." He leaned forward, eyes locked on hers. "Don't play me, Maya. I saw you at that gala, and it wasn't just Prosecco you were sipping. Who are you? A marketer or someone pulling strings?" Anger flared, but she swallowed it. "You want to know who I am?" She stood, her voice steady. "I'm the woman who pitched a campaign that's saving your ass. I'm the one who shows up every day, despite the whispers and the side eyes. And yeah, I've got money. More than you'd guess. Doesn't mean I'm not real." Ethan blinked, caught off guard. "Money? How much we talking?" "Enough to buy this company twice over," she snapped, then regretted it. His face shifted. Shock, then something like betrayal. "Why didn't you tell me?" he asked, quieter now. "Because I wanted you to see me," she said, her voice breaking. Not a bank account. Not a headline. Just me. He stood, rounding the desk, close enough that she could see the tension in his jaw. I see you, Maya. Always have. But this feels like a lie. She stepped back, heart pounding. Then maybe you're not looking hard enough. She left before he could respond, her heels echoing in the empty hall. She'd said too much, but not enough, and now the ground felt like it was crumbling beneath her. That night, Maya threw herself into the arts hub. A storm had rolled into Atlanta, rain lashing the windows of the center as she helped kids rehearse a dance routine. Their laughter was a lifeline, pulling her out of the chaos. But when the power flickered, she cursed under her breath. Perfect end to a perfect day. Miss Maya, you scared of thunder? Kira asked, clutching her sketchbook. Nah, Maya lied, grinning. Just mad it's messing with my vibe. The lights died completely, plunging them into darkness. Maya herded the kids to a safe corner, grabbing flashlights from a supply closet. Parents were on their way, but the storm wasn't letting up. She was calming a nervous boy when the door swung open and Ethan walked in, soaked to the bone, his shirt clinging to his chest. What the hell? She muttered, then louder. Carter, you lost? He shook rain from his hair, eyes finding hers in the dim light. Heard you were stuck. Figured I'd check in. Check in? She crossed her arms, skeptical. Or play hero? He smirked, but it was strained. Maybe both. The kids giggled, sensing the vibe. Maya sent them to grab snacks, then faced Ethan, the storm roaring outside. Why are you here, really? He stepped closer, water dripping onto the floor. Because I messed up. I pushed you in there, and I shouldn't have. But Maya... He paused, his voice softer. I don't care about the money. I care about you dodging me. Her breath caught. He was close now, too close, his shirt half transparent, his eyes raw. She shivered, not from the cold. Her cardigan was damp, clinging to her curves, and she saw his gaze flicker, then snap back to her face. You're shaking, he said, reaching out. His hand grazed her arm, warm against her skin, and for a second she forgot the fight, the secrets, everything. The air hummed, heavy with rain and something else. Careful, Carter, she murmured, her voice low. Some puzzles bite. He grinned but didn't pull back. I'm not scared. Their faces were inches apart, his breath warm, her heart racing. She could have kissed him, wanted to, but the kids' laughter broke the spell. She stepped back, clearing her throat. Not now, she said, more to herself. Not until you trust me. He nodded, understanding. I'm working on it. The lights flickered back on, and parents started arriving. Ethan helped herd the kids, his presence steady but unspoken. As he left, he looked back. We're not done, Maya. She didn't answer, but her pulse said otherwise. Back home, Maya sank onto her couch, the storm still rumbling outside. She'd saved the hub, kept the kids safe, but Ethan's words echoed louder than the thunder. I see you. Did he? Or was he just seeing what he wanted? A puzzle, not a person. Her wealth wasn't the real secret. It was her fear of losing herself to a world that only valued her for it. She opened her laptop, pulling up the hub's budget. Another donation, another step toward making it real. But Brightwave loomed, and so did Ethan. She'd built walls to keep her safe, but they were cracking, and she wasn't sure if she wanted to fix them or let them fall. The Brightwave office felt like a pressure cooker ready to blow. Maya Jackson stood by the coffee machine, her fingers tight around a mug that had gone cold. It was Monday, and the air buzzed with a nervous edge, phones ringing off the hook, execs darting between glass-walled offices, whispers of trouble trailing like smoke. Atlanta's skyline loomed outside, gray clouds smudging the horizon, mirroring the storm brewing inside. Maya's campaign was rolling, but the rumors about her and Ethan Carter hadn't stopped. If anything, they'd gotten uglier, and now something bigger was threatening to swallow everything. She'd heard the news in a team huddle that morning. A major client had slapped Brightwave with a lawsuit, claiming a software glitch cost them millions. The company's stock was tanking, layoffs were on the table, and Ethan was in firefighting mode. Maya caught glimpses of him through his office window, tie loose, pacing like a caged lion. She wanted to help, but after their clash over her secret wealth, every look between them felt like a tightrope. Malik Thompson slid up beside her, his usual grin replaced by a grimace. "You see the news, Maya? We're screwed." She sighed, setting her mug down. "Yeah. Any word on how bad?" "Bad enough that Lauren's circling like a vulture." He nodded toward the comms director, who was whispering with a group of suits, her blonde bob gleaming under the fluorescence. "She's pushing to take over your campaign, saying it's too risky with all this heat." Maya's jaw clenched. "Of course she is. Let her try." Malik bumped her shoulder. "You're tougher than this mess, Maya. But heads up, folks are digging into you now. That gala stunt didn't help." Her stomach twisted. The charity gala where Ethan had sniffed out her connection to the Horizon Fund, her secret millions. She'd hoped he'd let it go, but Malik's warning said otherwise. The office wasn't just gossiping about her and Ethan anymore. They were questioning who she was. A black woman with too much confidence and not enough proof to justify it. She straightened, channeling her mom's voice. "Don't let him dim you, baby. Time to fight." The day dragged like a bad movie. Maya buried herself in campaign work, tweaking visuals and calling local artists to lock in collabs. Her phone buzzed with a text from Tiana. "Office imploding yet? Come crash at my spot tonight. Wine and bad reality TV." Maya smiled, typing back, "Tempting, but I'm in the trenches. Save me a glass." Tiana was her anchor, but right now, Maya needed to stay sharp. At 3 p.m., Ethan called an all-hands meeting. The conference room was packed, tension thick as fog. Maya slipped in late, standing near the back. Ethan took the front, his face drawn but steady, like a captain facing a sinking ship. "We're in a tough spot," he said, voice calm but firm. "The lawsuit's real, and it's hitting us hard. But we're not done. I need every idea, every angle, whatever it takes to pull through." Hands shot up. Budget cuts, PR spins, new pitches. Lauren stood, her smile polished to a sheen. "Ethan, I've got a pivot for the marketing plan. Maya's campaign is bold, but with the market spooked, we need safe. Traditional ads, corporate clients, something to stabilize." Maya's blood boiled. Safe? That was code for gutting her vision. She opened her mouth, but Ethan cut in. "Let's hear all options," he said, glancing at Maya. "Jackson, what's your take?" She stepped forward, every eye on her. "Safe's why we're in this mess. People don't trust brands that play it boring. They want real. My campaign's doubling down on community, on culture. We've got artists lined up, events planned. Pull back now and we lose the one thing keeping us relevant." The room murmured, some nodding, others skeptical. Lauren's smile didn't waver, but her voice dripped venom. "With all due respect, Maya, you're new. And with questions about your role here, maybe we should stick to proven strategies." "Questions?" Maya's voice was ice. "Say it plain, Lauren." Lauren hesitated, then went for the kill. "Fine. There's talk you're not just a marketer, that you're some kind of secret player. Horizon Fund, big money, pulling strings. Convenient, isn't it? You waltz in, cozy up to Ethan, and suddenly you're running the show? The room gasped. Maya froze, her heart slamming against her ribs. Every face turned to her, curious, judging, waiting. She looked at Ethan, expecting him to shut it down, but he stood silent, his jaw tight, eyes unreadable. That silence hit harder than Lauren's words. "Wow," Maya said, her voice steady despite the chaos inside. "You really went there?" She faced the room, chin high. "Yeah, I've got money. Built it myself, no strings attached. But this?" She gestured at the table. "This is my work, my ideas. And if you think I'm here because of anything but my brain, you're dumber than you look." A few gasps, a nervous laugh from Malik. Lauren crossed her arms, smug. Ethan finally spoke, his voice low. "That's enough. This isn't the time." Maya locked eyes with him, betrayal burning through her. "You're right. It's not." She grabbed her notebook and walked out, the door clicking shut behind her like a gunshot. Back at her desk, Maya's hands shook as she packed her bag. The office blurred. Screens, papers, the photo of her mom. She'd fought for her place here, but Lauren's stunt, Ethan's silence, they'd stripped her bare. Not just as a marketer, but as a black woman who dared to shine. She wanted to scream, to flip the desk, but instead she breathed deep, channeling Grace's strength. "You don't need their approval." Her phone lit up, a call from her mom. She answered, voice tight. "Hey, Mama." "Baby, what's wrong?" Grace's tone was soft but firm. "Don't lie to me." Maya laughed, bitter. "Everything. Work's a mess. They know about the money. And I'm done." "Done?" Grace paused. "You built a damn empire, Maya. You're not done. You're deciding. Whatever you choose, I'm proud." "Always." Tears pricked Maya's eyes. "Thanks, Mama. I need to think." "You will, and you'll shine, baby. You always do." She hung up, steadier but still raw. She opened her laptop, drafting a resignation email. Not because she was weak, but because she was done proving herself to people who'd already made up their minds. That evening, Maya drove to the Decatur Arts Hub, needing its chaos to ground her. The kids were there, painting props for a show, their chatter a bomb. Kira ran up, hugging her. "Miss Maya, you sad?" "Nah, kiddo," Maya lied, ruffling her braids. "Just got a lot on my mind." Kira tilted her head. "My mama says when you're sad, you gotta dance it out." Maya laughed, real this time. "Your mama's smart." She was helping Kira with a brush when the door opened. Ethan stepped in, no tie, just a dark jacket and jeans, his face a mix of guilt and determination. The kids barely noticed, but Maya's pulse spiked. "Got a minute?" he asked, voice low. She crossed her arms, paint smudged on her sleeve. "Depends. You here to talk or just stand there like you did today?" He winced, stepping closer. The room felt smaller, the kids' laughter fading to a hum. "I screwed up, Maya. I should have had your back in there. I froze, and I'm sorry." "Sorry doesn't cut it," she said, her voice sharp but trembling. "You let her gut me in front of everyone." "You think that's trust?" He moved closer, close enough that she caught his scent. Rain and cologne. Her t-shirt clung to her from the humid air, and she saw his eyes flicker just for a second before locking on hers. "I didn't know what to say," he admitted, voice raw. You're more than I expected, Maya. The money, the campaign, you. I'm trying to catch up." She laughed, bitter. "Catch up? Ethan, I'm not a puzzle for you to solve. I'm a person, and I'm done waiting for you to see it." He reached for her, his hand brushing her arm, warm and steady. "You think I don't see you?" His voice dropped, urgent, almost a whisper. "Every damn day, Maya. I see you." Her breath hitched. His touch sent a jolt through her, and for a moment she wanted to lean in, to let him fix it. But she pulled back, shaking her head. "Too late, Carter. I'm out." She turned, grabbing her bag, leaving him standing there, the kids' voices filling the silence. Her heart screamed to stay, but her pride, her truth, was louder. Driving home, Atlanta's lights blurred through her windshield. Maya felt hollow, like she'd left a piece of herself at the hub, at Bright Wave with Ethan. She wasn't running. She was choosing. But the choice hurt, sharp and deep, like a wound that hadn't stopped bleeding. She'd built a fortune to protect herself, but no money could shield her from this. At her apartment, she sank onto the couch, staring at the resignation email on her laptop. Her finger hovered over send. Tomorrow, she'd face the hub, the kids, her future. But tonight, she let herself feel the weight of it all, knowing that sometimes walking away was the strongest thing you could do. The Decatur Arts Hub was a riot of color and chaos, transformed for its first big showcase. Strings of fairy lights draped the makeshift stage, murals painted by kids splashed across the walls, and the air smelled of popcorn and spray paint. Maya Jackson stood backstage, her heart pounding as she adjusted a mic for Kira, the 10-year-old superhero artist who'd insisted on opening the show. It was a Friday night in Atlanta, the city humming outside. But here, in this patched-up community center, Maya felt alive. This was her fight now. Not Bright Wave, not the rumors, not even Ethan Carter. Just the kids, their dreams, and a stage to let them shine. She'd quit Bright Wave a week ago, her resignation email sent in a haze of hurt and pride. The office had been a battlefield, with Lauren's betrayal, outing her as a secret millionaire, and Ethan's silence cutting deeper than any knife. Maya had walked away, not because she was weak, but because she was done proving herself to a room that didn't see her. The hub was her sanctuary, funded by her hidden fortune, and tonight's show was proof she'd chosen right. Still, a piece of her ached, for what she'd lost, for what might have been. "Miss Maya, you nervous?" Kira asked, her braids bouncing as she tugged Maya's sleeve. Maya grinned, crouching to meet her eyes. "Me? Nah. You're the star here, Captain Spark. You got this." Kira giggled, clutching her sketchbook. "What if I mess up?" "Then you mess up loud," Maya said, winking. "That's how we learn to fly." The girl nodded, scampering off to rehearse. Maya straightened, smoothing her white linen dress, simple, flowing, a far cry from the gala gowns she'd worn to hide. Her curls were loose, catching the stage lights, and for the first time in weeks, she felt like herself. Not the marketer, not the millionaire, just Maya, building something real. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. A text from Tiana. "Show's gonna slay, girl. Wish I could be there. Stuck at a shoot. Break legs. P.S. Malik says hi." Maya smiled, typing back. "Thanks, T. Tell Malik he owes me wings." She missed them. Malik's jokes, Tiana's fire, but tonight was about moving forward, not looking back. The crowd trickled in, parents, neighbors, a few local reporters. Maya peeked through the curtain, her stomach flipping. The hub was packed, folding chairs creaking under the weight of hope. She'd poured everything into this. Money, time, heart, and it had to work. For the kids, for her. The show kicked off with a bang. Kira nailed her spoken word piece, her voice small but fierce, earning a standing ovation. A teen dance crew brought the house down with a hip-hop routine, the bass rattling the windows. Maya ran backstage, adjusting props, hugging kids, laughing when a boy tripped over a cord and turned it into a breakdance move. It was messy, raw, perfect. She forgot Brightwave, forgot Ethan, forgot the weight of her secrets. Until she saw him. Ethan Carter stood at the back, half hidden in the shadows, his dark jacket blending with the crowd. Her breath caught. He wasn't supposed to be here. She'd cut him out, left him behind, but those green eyes found hers, steady and unyielding. For a second, she wanted to run. Toward him or away, she wasn't sure. Instead, she turned back to the stage, focusing on the kids. Whatever he wanted, it could wait. The show ended with a group song, the kids belting out a cover of Sweet Georgia Brown, their voices rough but full of heart. The crowd roared, parents wiping tears, cameras flashing. Maya took the mic, stepping into the spotlight, her voice steady despite the storm in her chest. "Thank you all for coming," she said, the Atlanta drawl slipping through. "This hub's for every kid who's got a dream bigger than their block. Tonight, you saw what happens when we give 'em a chance. Let's keep it going. Together." Applause thundered, but then a new voice cut through. "Can I say something?" Ethan stepped forward, his presence shifting the room like a tide. Maya froze, her grip tightening on the mic. What was he doing? He climbed onto the stage, no tie, no pretense, just a man with something to prove. The crowd hushed, sensing drama. Ethan faced them, then turned to Maya, his eyes soft but fierce. "I'm Ethan Carter, used to run Brightwave," he started, his voice carrying. "But tonight, I'm just a guy who messed up. See, I had someone incredible on my team, Maya Jackson. She built campaigns that changed the game, ideas that lit fires. But when things got tough, I didn't stand up for her. I let rumors tear us apart, and I lost her." The room was silent, every eye on Maya. Her throat burned, tears pricking, but she held still, waiting. "Maya's not just a marketer," Ethan went on. "She's a force. She built this place." He gestured at the hub. "With her own hands, her own heart. And yeah, she's got money, but that's not what makes her. It's her fight, her truth. I was an idiot for doubting it, and I'm here to say I'm sorry, not just to her, but to all of you, for thinking I could lead without learning from someone like her." The crowd murmured, some clapping, others stunned. Kira tugged Maya's hand, whispering, "He's talking about you, Miss Maya." Maya barely heard her. Ethan's words hit like waves, each one breaking something open inside her. He turned to her, stepping closer, the mic forgotten. "I see you, Maya," he said, voice low, meant just for her. "I always did. I'm just hoping you'll give me a chance to prove it." Her heart raced, 1,000 emotions crashing together. Anger, hope, fear, want. The crowd faded, and it was just them, the stage lights warm, her dress catching the glow. She could walk away, keep her walls up, stay safe. Or she could choose something scarier. "You're late, Carter," she said finally, her voice thick but steady. "But you showed up. That's a start." The crowd erupted, cheers and whistles filling the air. Kira hugged Maya's leg, giggling. Ethan grinned, relief flooding his face, and for the first time in weeks, Maya felt light. Backstage, the kids swarmed, high on sugar and applause. Maya sent them to their parents, her hands still shaking from Ethan's speech. He found her in a quiet corner, the hub emptying out, the fairy lights casting soft shadows. "You meant that?" she asked, crossing her arms, her dress shimmering as she moved. "Or was it just a show?" Ethan stepped closer, his jacket open, his shirt clinging to him in the humid air. "Every word," he said, his voice rough. "I quit Brightwave, Maya. Stepped down as CEO. They're restructuring, but I'm done playing king. I want to build something real, like you're doing here." Her eyes widened. "You quit? Ethan, that's..." Crazy? He laughed, running a hand through his hair. Maybe. But you changed me. Showed me there's more than boardrooms and bottom lines. I'm all in, if you'll have me. She studied him, the man who'd served her champagne, who'd faltered, but fought back. Her walls trembled, but she wasn't afraid anymore. She stepped closer, close enough to feel his warmth, her voice low. You're still slow with the drinks, Carter. He grinned, his hand brushing her arm, sending a spark through her. But I'm quick where it counts. Her laugh was soft, unguarded. She tilted her head, their faces inches apart, the air thick with promise. Prove it, she whispered. He did. His lips met hers, slow at first, then deeper, a kiss that tasted of apologies and beginnings. Her hands found his chest, his arms pulling her close, and for a moment, the world was just them, raw, real, right. The kids' distant laughter broke the spell, and they pulled back, breathless, smiling like fools. Not bad, she teased, her voice husky, but you're on probation. Fair, he said, his eyes bright. I'll earn it. Months later, the arts hub was thriving. Maya and Ethan ran it together, her fortune fueling expansion, his business savvy streamlining operations. Brightwave survived the lawsuit, but under new leadership, Lauren was demoted, her influence fading like a bad trend. Maya came clean about her wealth in a local interview, her story inspiring a wave of support for the hub. She didn't need to hide anymore. Not her money, not her heart. Their wedding was small, held at the hub under a canopy of lights. Kira carried the rings, grinning ear to ear, while Malik DJ'd a mix of Outkast and Drake. Maya wore a cream dress, simple but stunning, her curls crowned with flowers. Ethan, in a linen suit, whispered, "You're still my favorite puzzle," as they danced, the kids cheering. "I'm no puzzle," she shot back, laughing. "I'm just Maya." "And I'm just Ethan," he said, pulling her close. "Lucky as hell to be here." The reception spilled into the yard, music and laughter echoing into the Atlanta night. Maya looked at the faces around her. Kids, parents, Tiana, Malik, her mom, Ethan, and felt home. Not a place, but a truth she'd fought for. She'd chosen herself, and somehow that choice had led to this. A life built on trust, love, and the courage to be seen. Years later, they'd tell the story to the hub's new kids, how it started with a glass of champagne and a mistake, how a waiter turned CEO and a secret millionaire found each other in the chaos, and every time Maya would laugh, squeezing Ethan's hand. "Still owe me that dance, Carter." He'd grin, pulling her close. "Every day, princess, every damn day." What did you think of Maya and Ethan's journey? Which moment hit you hardest? The apology, the kiss, or the wedding under the lights? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to never miss a story like this. Let's keep the love and drama going. Tell us what you want to see next.